Welcome to Sports.
A network.
I'm Scramble James,
I'm Kenny S.
and we're debuting a brand new show called Puckin Around.
Where we'll talk about everything NHL and NHL related.
In our first episode, broken up into two parts, we'll talk about the 2025-26 season for the NHL, making full predictions for each division. Let's go over to the Eastern Conference.
Okay.
And Kenny, you had the Metro, so let's let you lay that out.
Yeah, let's take a look at the Metropolitan Division. I think this is a funny dichotomy to the other division I covered, which is the Central. I honestly think this is maybe one of the least exciting divisions. I think this is maybe the weakest division in hockey. A lot of strong words here.
Don't tell anybody in New York.
Yeah, don't let them know. But for me, I have Carolina Hurricane at the top. I think that's a pretty obvious choice. I think that they've made a lot of steps forward. I don't think they've lost much. I do think they've been to the conference finals 3 times in a row. I think while they haven't played very well in the finals, I think that's something to note. Can they push through this year? I personally don't think so. I think they're kind of doomed to lose in the conference finals or before, but that's
just their infinite karma.
Yeah, that's just what, you know.
Did you know, I heard this nickname recently that I thought was hilarious, but I heard their coach, Rod Brindamore, called Rod the Bod.
I did not know that.
That's got to be one of the top coaching nicknames in the league, so keep that up.
So I gave Carolina 110 points. I obviously think that they're going to lead their division, but I don't think that they're going to make a cup run or do anything too crazy in the postseason.
Yeah. They did pick up Nicholas Ehlers. That was
that's true.
Their big pick. So that top line of Ehlers, Aho, and Jarvis looks pretty sick.
And Staykoven was playing really well for them at the end of the season. I'm curious to see how he kind of grows and adapts to having a full season there, playing with everybody.
Well, and he's young. He's 22.
Yeah, he's super young.
So, I've always been a fan of his. Even when he was for Dallas, I was like, that dude is good. So their center depth is looking awesome with Aho, Stankoven, and then Stahl. And then they got Kotkaniemi listed on Puckpedia as their fourth line center. We'll see how that
actually happens.
But that's a pretty sick center line. And then Jacob Slavin on the back end is
he's so good,
just like a monster. So they're looking good. See if they can break the curse.
Nah. So second in the Metropolitan Division, I have the New Jersey Devils. I again think.
Oh, really?
I do.
Oh.
I do. This is going to be a hot take here.
Yeah.
I guess to put it in perspective, I don't think the Capitals are going to have as much magic as they did last year. I think there was something special with the Ovechkin record and all of that. I just don't see that happening again.
And they played well above expectations on almost every advanced metric. They somehow were scoring way more goals than they were expected to, so that magic is always limited.
And I think New Jersey was coming on strong at the end of the season last year. This is going to piss a lot of people off. I personally don't think the Rangers are as good as everyone thinks they are. I think New Jersey deserves a spot personally.
Yeah.
And that's up for debate, but did you have anything
We'll see how Jack Hughes comes back from his injury. That'll kind of dictate a lot of New Jersey's fortunes, I think. Yeah, we'll see if their goalie situation of Markstrom and Allen can put it together. I think those are my biggest question marks for them are what is Jack Hughes' health, and then are their goalies able to
stop
the job?
Yeah. So moving on to number 3 in the Metro Division, I have the Capitals. I have them with 100 points. I think they still have a pretty solid team. They're obviously aging. I do think there was a little bit of magic last season that, we kind of already covered this, but I just don't think they're going to put it together like they did last year. I could be wrong, but happy to see Ovechkin in the league one more year. I think that guy is one of the most interesting athletes. I put him up there with Jokic. Just two of the most interesting human beings for being such top tier, but also just being such interesting humans off the ice and off the court.
Totally. Yeah. And that dude is 40 years old.
Whew.
Like LeBron status.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
No load management for that guy.
No. No, dude.
Just cheeseburgers.
Just cheeseburgers. That's right. Cheeseburgers and whey protein.
Yeah.
That's it. And maybe some vodka, I bet. But yeah, dude. I think they're going to be good. I really like their coach. I think they play a hard-nosed style. And then I think a wild card for them is Logan Thompson. And if he can keep up the pace that he was playing at last year, I can't remember that guy's exact stats from last year.
I can't really either.
I'm pretty sure he lost like 8 games or something. Like he was crazy when they played. When he played, they basically just won all the time.
He had a 9.918 save percentage through 9 games in the postseason, which is pretty impressive.
Yeah. So I think he's a stud, and it's just kind of like, can he stay healthy and can he keep up the magic from last year?
Yeah. So I have the Capitals at 3 with 100 points, and moving down the list, I have the New York Rangers at 4 with 97.
Squeaking in.
Just squeaking in there, you know. I think the Rangers have a good base. I do think they're missing a little bit. Obviously, in my opinion, I think they might have the best goalie tandem in the league.
Yeah, I mean,
it's hard to say. I think the Stars also do. But I mean,
it kind of depends on if Shesterkin is able to refine that like incredible form that he had last year. He was a little off.
I do think the contract negotiations last year played a part in just team dynamics and just maybe the way Shesty played.
Yeah, I mean, it's been documented that players were pissed that dude got so much money and they weren't getting money, and then they let that affect their whole season.
Yeah.
Which is a shame, honestly.
And I think they just promoted Miller to captain, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
That's kind of a new look there. You know, Trocheck. I think they're a good team. I just think there's holes. I think when you get into the bottom 6, you're kind of like,
right. It's
what's going on here? You know?
Juuso Parssinen is listed as their third line center, which that is a stretch for that guy. And like maybe, you know, he's 24. Maybe he keeps making steps, but I think that's a stretch for that guy. And then their fourth line, like they got Rempe down there, who's a tank, but like I don't know, dude. Like if their depth is just suspect.
Yeah, I would like to talk about their defense a little bit. I think Fox is incredible. I think he's top 5 D-men in the league. But again, I think you lose a little bit of depth as you go down the D pairings for New York.
Yeah, you think Fox is top 5?
I do.
Dude, I actually think Fox is overrated.
Oh, dang. He's hot take.
He's top 20. I mean, he's a Norris winner, but I'm just like kind of like, yo, what are you doing for me today? Like that guy is like a yesterday kind of player, I think. And he's got it in him, but he's got to start playing like a superstar. And I don't think the last couple of years he has. So, like I say, all respect to him being a Norris winner and everything, but yeah, he's just getting outclassed right now. So
fair enough. So I have New York with 97 points, moving down to number 5 in the division, the Columbus Blue Jackets. I'll be honest, I don't know a lot about this team. I don't really follow them. I did put them here just based on past performance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a lot of these ratings are based on the other teams. You know, below them, I have the Islanders, the Flyers, the Penguins. I think they're better than those teams, but I don't think they quite match up to the Rangers, the Capitals, the Devils, the Hurricane.
Yeah.
So they kind of fall in that, you know, just below the top 4, but not, you know.
Yeah.
Not quite there.
This team could be a bit of a dark horse in this division, I think, because their center depth is good. They have Monahan, Fantilli, and Charlie Coyle.
Okay.
As their top 3 centers. And like Fantilli is 20, like, and that dude has huge potential. So like if he takes a step forward and really owns starts owning a top 6 role, he's going to be awesome. And then you have Werenski coming off just like his career year. And it's like if Werenski keeps it up, if Fantilli can step up, and then their depth produce, and they got Charlie Coyle specifically to try to do that, I think this team could find themselves in the playoffs for the first time in a while. They were knocking on the door last year.
Yeah, they were so close.
And I think they got better as a team. I think it's kind of like the Rangers had such a wild year last year that I agree with you. The Rangers are going to edge them, but it's not through Columbus getting worse. It's just through the Rangers getting better.
Yeah, totally.
Comparatively to last year, right? But I would love to see Columbus in the playoffs, though. Like, it's just like one of those things of like rooting for the
yeah.
Like, come on, dudes, you got
You're
this.
so close.
You know, like they're really close. I think it would just be fun for hockey in the Midwest to have Columbus in there.
Totally. So I gave them 90 points. Moving on to number 6.
Oh, dude, wait, sorry. With Columbus, dude, they freaking shoot that cannon when they.
Oh yeah. That's crazy. Like, that is crazy. It's got to be so loud in the arena.
It's got to be terrible, man. Like, yeah, you're just like putting on the earplugs when they or the earmuffs when they score. You know.
It totally seems like a football tradition.
Well, you know, they are in Ohio, so
it makes sense.
I guess. Yeah. Like,
fair enough. We got to get them where we got to get the fans where we can get them, I guess.
That's right.
Moving on to 6, I have the New York Islanders. I think they definitely took a step back, losing Brock Nelson. Thank you. We appreciate it. We're happy to have him.
Yeah.
Show him a nice time, you know.
Yeah. Help win him a cup.
Yeah, we'll get him one, and you know. But, I just think the Islanders took a little bit of a step back, losing some pieces. I think they're, borderline rebuild team. I just don't see them competing with the other teams that we've already kind of chatted about.
Dude, they also lost Noah Dobson on the back end.
Oh,
so
okay.
They lost like probably their best defenseman, and they lost their second line center.
Yeah,
they did pick up our buddy Jonathan Drouin.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, which hopefully he'll get first line minutes. It might be second line minutes. We'll see where he kind of finds himself.
You know how I feel about Drouin, but
tell the people.
Oh man, I'm not a Drouin fan. I was never really happy with him playing on the Avs, but I am happy to see him be in a place where maybe he can shine a little bit better, maybe get some more of those top line minutes that he probably deserves. When you're competing against Mac and those guys, there just was no place for him in the top line for the Avs.
And it just kind of depends what Anders Lee does for New York. If Lee is on that top line or Drouin, and we'll see. That'll kind of settle out through.
I'm sure, they're going to play around
as they find
with that.
different chemistries with Barzal and Horvat. I'm happy to see Drouin get paid a little bit more, though.
Totally.
Like say what you want about that dude, but that dude definitely deserved more than the 1 point something million that the Avs were able to pay him last year, and seeing him get a $4 million deal.
Good on him.
Like, go get your money, dude. That's great.
Totally.
So pulling for him. Unless he's playing for against the Avs, I guess.
And then kind of down to the bottom bin,
bummer bin.
We've got the Flyers and the Penguins kind of rounding out the division.
Sorry, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, the Flyers are in a tough spot right now. I think they're full rebuild. I don't have a lot to say about them. I think they've got a couple years before we're going to see any production from them.
I think the exciting thing for them is seeing what Mitchkov does.
Yeah.
If that dude can start, looking like a superstar and putting it together. I know freaking who was their old coach? Torts.
Okay.
Tortorella used to get just like so pissed at Mitchkov because Mitchkov would try like Michigans and stuff.
He's
and
like,
Tortorella was like, what are you doing? And so I think Mitchkov's exciting. We'll see if he can kind of figure out where his skill set is applicable in the NHL game and where he can kind of be a responsible player, but also still an exciting and creative, productive top line guy.
Totally.
Yeah. Also, shout out to the Flyers for having the best mascot in the league.
Whoa, the best mascot? The Flyers.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
All right. That is a hot take, but okay.
Yeah, no, I'm going to pull it up right now so you can see it, dude. Anybody at home, you should look up, dude. Gritty,
we can put it on the screen.
Gritty is like by far
the
best mascot.
All right.
That guy is hilarious and does a bunch of antics. So
he's sure a lot cooler looking than the Avalanche dog.
Dude, than the Saint Bernard.
yeah,
dude. Bernie. Yeah.
Cool. The Penguins, I have them last in the division. Poor Sid. I think he's got another year left in him, maybe 2. Sounds like he's going to end his career there, and I just don't, they didn't make a lot of moves. I think they're still trying to put a full roster together. Like, they obviously have players, but they're still trying to figure out where everyone slots in. Yeah, I don't see them doing much this season.
Yeah. They're in a tricky spot. Their goalie situation is not looking good.
Not too great.
They're, aging. You've got Carlson at 35. You've got Letang at 38 on the back end. Graves is at 30. So Graves is still on the younger side, but starting to get into his 30s. And then obviously Crosby and Malkin. Malkin's 39.
Wow.
They
must be the oldest team in the league, right? Like average age, they've got to be.
I don't know what that is. Oldest NHL team.
That's probably gonna. Yeah, there you go.
Let's see. For 2024-25, it was Edmonton. And then Pittsburgh. So But
probably pretty close.
But Edmonton got rid of Corey Perry, so that's got to bring their average down, So
yeah, he is an average buster.
So I think the questions for Pittsburgh, and I mean Crosby has come out and said, that he wants to be there. He's not thinking of moving. But is Malkin going to be on the team by the end of the year? Is Crosby going to be on the team by the end of the year? Is Letang going to be on the team by the end of the year? Is Karlsson going to be on the team? Those are 4 dudes that are all getting older,
right?
And all would be an asset to
someone
trying to win a cup.
It would be easy for them to offload those for either picks or other assets.
Yeah, Karlsson's going to be the hardest because he's got a $10 million cap hit.
That's tough.
Totally.
That's real tough.
But Letang at 6.1, Malkin at 6.1, Crosby at 8.7. But Crosby's on a year 1 of a 2-year deal, so it's you kind of have this setup where it's I would be happy to pay Crosby $8.7 million for this year and next year. That dude's a stud.
Yeah,
still.
He's incredible.
It's crazy. And Malkin, I would pay 6.1 if I thought that he was gonna show up and help us win a cup. So it's tricky there. They're starting to look at full rebuild potential, and if you do trade those guys, you start to stack draft picks, and you can kind of start to see them setting up for the future. Their goalie situation, I think I said this already, is a disaster.
Yeah, I was just taking a look. I was like, oof, that's going to be tough.
Yeah.
So I guess to round out the Metropolitan Division, I have Carolina at 1, New Jersey Devils at 2, Capitals at 3, Rangers 4, Blue Jackets 5, Islanders at 6, Flyers at 7, and the Penguins at 8.
Dude.
Yeah, that's gonna ruffle some feathers.
State of Pennsylvania, just in the bummer bin, dude. That's a bummer. Sweet. So let's move to the Atlantic.
Yeah. Last division.
Yeah.
All right.
Which I think rivals the Central in interest.
Agreed.
The Central and the Atlantic, I think, are clearly the most exciting divisions to watch, and I also think have just the best teams in the league, and are the most competitive. I know Edmonton fans are going to say, well, our team reached the cup final, so you can't say that. But I think the Central and the Atlantic are by far.
Is that before or after Skinner had a nap? That's the question.
Always after.
You can't. Yeah. You gotta rate Edmonton on before nap, after nap.
Yeah, always after nap. Yeah. But at the top of the Atlantic, I actually have Tampa Bay with 111 points.
That would have been my choice as well. I think that's very interesting. I think most people would say Florida, they got all those players back. A bunch of people took friendly deals. But, man, I think Tampa Bay is really gearing up for a run this year.
Totally, yeah. And they're pissed. John Cooper talked about it. They're hungry. They're tired of losing to their cross-state rival. They are ready to go. And then in the playoffs last year, they looked disastrous.
Right.
But they were super hurt. So it's kind of if they can just stay healthy or be healthy at the right time. I think.
And if Vazzy can really find his form, I mean, that guy,
dude.
At his best, he's probably the best goalie in the league.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. But it's they got Point, Cirelli, and Gord down the middle, which is sick.
That's great.
Their top line is Gensel, Point, and Kucherov, which is there's that's top 5 maybe in the league. You could say that's definitely a top line in the league. Those guys are awesome. You have Hedman and McDonough on the left on their D, Moser and Cernak on the right. These dudes are stacked. Tampa is gonna be a beast. And it's really just comes down to, can they be healthy in the playoffs? And then I think the X factor.
Johansson is their backup. Yep. That's awesome. Yep. I like that guy.
Yeah, which, hopefully they won't have to lean on Johansson that much.
Right.
But hopefully Vasilevsky stays healthy. I got Tampa at the top of that division, and I got Florida right behind them at 105 points, which really the factor of the regular season for me was just that Tkachuk's going to be out until December, and then who knows what he's going to be like when he comes back.
Right.
Is he going to be, kind of introduced slowly? Is he going to be full speed right away? And so I also think they're going to coast a bit. They know what they got. They're not going to push to win the President's Trophy. They're we just need to get to the playoffs.
Just get to the playoffs. We'll do our work then.
Totally. And I actually think they still are the best team in the division, but they aren't as hungry. I think Tampa will finish above them. But Nate Schmidt is the only player not returning to that team. So that's to clarify.
Crazy.
That's your third pairing defenseman. And that's the only dude you're not bringing back.
Yeah, and he won 2 cups.
That's crazy. That's so crazy. And they got Jeff Petrie, who I don't know that guy, but that's his replacement. And Paul Maurice just like maximizes talent. Like what
a great coach that guy is.
Whew. So good. So I'm like, Nate Schmidt came into Florida just like totally washed up. And so it's like, I wouldn't be surprised if Petrie, I don't know how you say his last name, but I wouldn't be surprised if Maurice just turns that dude into
a machine.
Yeah. And then my surprise pick is I have Montreal in third at 99 points. I'm real bullish on this team. I actually think Montembeault in the back, Montembeault, I can't say his name right, but I think that dude is a freaking monster. And that guy's like, he's kind of like this like cat back there. So quick, so good. They got Bolduc and Dobson as like their big signings in the summer, which for those that don't know Bolduc, he really came on for St. Louis at the end of the year, had some big goals in the playoffs, young guy, still developing. I think he's going to be absolute just like bulldog up there. And then Dobson is going to be awesome. And you got
Suzuki centering. I mean, the top line, that guy's great.
Right.
Demidov's pretty great.
Well, Demidov is going to be there. Like, it's like basically, can Demidov be a stud?
Yeah.
Because this is going to be really his first full year. And that guy looked awesome. So, yeah, I think he's their secret weapon. And, yeah, the Suzuki, Caulfield, and Savlovsky line is, like, so sick. And then you have Lane Hudson and Noah Dobson on your right hand, and Lane Hudson coming off of the Calder win. It's like that guy's going to keep building, I think. I don't see him taking a step back. So Montreal,
I think they're a little bit of a dark horse as well. I think that they're gonna charge, especially towards the end of the season when they're, clicking on all cylinders. It's nice to see a familiar name, Alex Newhook, on there.
Yep.
Always gotta point out former Avs.
Yeah, he's locked up there. They got him on a 4-year deal. He's in his 3rd year. So
good. Okay.
But yeah, I'm stoked on Montreal. I'm actually excited to watch that team and hope they can put it together. So, which brings us to 4th place.
Ooh.
The Toronto Maple Leafs, dropping from first all the way down to the wild card. I have them at 98 points.
Big shakeup last year.
Yeah, dude. I think they just have a much weaker forward group.
Yeah.
Like, they got rid of Marner, which a lot of people were excited about in Toronto. Some people weren't. I just don't think they got what they needed to replace him. The point production just isn't going to be there for me. They've lost 6 consecutive Game 7s.
Wait. I know. Easy the pot calling the kettle black here.
Yeah. I was like, are we talking about the Avs or the Maple Leafs? I maybe both, But, it's just like those dudes, the difference between those dudes and the Avs is that they haven't won. Toronto has not won. And so I think they're just going to have a really tough time putting it together. Nicholas Roy is a great addition, but they're just really banking on Michelli to continue to grow and just the depth pieces that they got to really outproduce anything they've produced previously.
Thoughts on Matthews the last couple seasons? I know that he's been getting a lot of hate. People are saying, oh, this guy's got to step up. He's a much better player than he's been playing.
Yeah.
You think he's been injured? Do you think it's just been the room's been a little off?
So he came out and he said that he got hurt at like the very beginning of last year and was playing injured all year. And I think he improved a lot defensively last year through the year. But, yeah, I actually really like Austin Matthews. Okay. I think the thing with Matthews is he needs to somehow become a better playmaker. And he scores a bunch of goals, but, he's got to be able to set up his teammates a little bit better.
Right.
And then when it comes to the playoffs, we all know the narrative there, and we all know the stats there. The actual facts is that he hasn't produced the way that he's needed to produce to get his team to win. And when you wear the C, when you're the face of the franchise, you got to step up or take the heat.
Especially in Toronto.
Totally.
I mean, I feel like that place is a media zoo.
Totally.
So,
like biggest NHL market in the league. So, I actually really like Matthews, and I hope he can put it together and kind of shrug off the narrative that is attached to him. I hope he has a big year. And I hope in the playoffs he's a beast.
Totally.
But they're still going to lose. So, but then one thing I will say about Toronto is their defense is sick. Their defense is going to blow dudes up. They've got
Tanev, McCabe.
Totally. Riley and Ekman Larson, Benoit. They're just going to blow people up. And then with Stolarz in the back and Wall backing Stolarz up, or kind of splitting time, maybe doing a 1A, 1B situation, they're going to be hard to score against.
And they'll be fresh. I mean, they'll be able to kind of go back and forth between the two and just pretty much always have a fresh goalie, which I think is very important.
Unless they trade Wall.
Oh, you think that's a possibility?
Which is one of my questions.
Okay.
Like, will they trade Wall in order to kind of beef up or attempt to beef up their forward depth as we get closer to the trade deadline, as things develop?
Yeah.
You know, like that's definitely, like, if Toronto's not getting enough offense, that is a valuable trade piece that could go. And if Stolarz is playing awesome, then, you know, you don't necessarily need two studs.
Right.
You know, so yeah, I'm curious with Toronto. I think there's a lot of unknown there.
Yeah, I think they're one of those teams we're just going to have to see how they play throughout the season, and you know, I feel like they could. I feel like they're one of those teams that could either be the top of the division or not even make the playoffs. You know? Like they're like one of those teams. It's like it could go drastically either way.
Totally, I agree with that. Yeah. So that leaves us to fifth place in the Atlantic with I'm choosing Ottawa. 96 points. I got them at.
I think that's a great choice. I think they're a very hungry team this year. I think they were hungry last year as well, but I think they have a lot to build on from last year. They kind of finished the season strong. Tough first round exit, but you know, they played a good team.
And we'll get to the playoff bracket, but unfortunately they are not making the playoffs in this current prediction. So a small step backwards for them. Yeah, Jordan Spence he's going to make their defense better. And last year they allowed 47 fewer goals than in 23-24. So huge step last year for them. Yeah, defensively.
That's tons.
And then they went out and got another guy on the defensive end. So I think they're one of those teams that's like, you were asking about this with Calgary, of are they able to start seeing their window? I think Ottawa is starting to actually see a window on the that is clear. You know, they're like, okay, we can get there. And you know, they got Brady Tkachuk,
Ullmark's
pretty incredible. I think Ullmark's going to have a huge year actually. Yeah, Linus Ullmark is going to put himself in the Vezina conversation this year, I think. I don't think he's going to win, but I think he's going to be one of those top 3 goalies. And then Stützle and Claude Giroux, Claude Giroux is like one of my favorite current hockey players.
I love Claude Giroux.
He's like so smart and wily and just like, I always wish that he was on the Avs. And then their fourth line is going to be super annoying to play against. They signed Lars Eller.
Yeah.
So it's like their fourth line is just going to be this like grating sandpaper. Yeah, dude. Just total miners. Yeah. They're going out, fucking hammering out some coal, getting those pucks loose. So I think that's kind of the X factor with them. If they can get some goals from their depth, they might find themselves a couple points higher and land themselves in the playoff picture. But I think that
I think they have maybe one more step to make before they're making the playoffs consistently.
And I think Montreal is surpassing them or outpacing them in that development.
I agree. I agree with that.
So then 6th, I have Detroit, which, Detroit is just stuck in neutral.
Yeah, they're kind of in that no man's land that we were talking about earlier, right? Of like, which you have some players, but you don't quite have the mix to build on.
Right.
Like, kind of what's your next step? Where are you taking this team?
Yep. And last year they had 86 points, so I have them as 3 points less than last year. So kind of a small step back. They did get John Gibson in net, who is awesome. The question is just, can that guy stay healthy?
Talbot as a backup's not too bad either.
That's true.
He's a pretty decent goalie. He's not a Vezina winner, anything like that. But
did he win a Vezina?
I don't think so.
Yeah, he was in the running a couple years during his prime. But yeah, I just don't think Cam Talbot has it anymore. Did he win one?
No.
Okay.
Considered.
Yeah, he was considered. Yeah. But yeah, so I think their goalie situation is going to be rough. And then they've got a bunch of new faces to kind of work into the lineup. So I think, it's one of those where they could outperform this 83-point pace that I have them projected as.
Maybe find some people that find the right slot, kind of mix in real well. But it could be the opposite too, right?
Yep. If they get the right chemistry and everybody slots in, then they could be a little better. I just don't see them making the playoffs, and I don't see them taking that next step. So, which brings us to seventh in this division, which is Boston at 78 points.
I never know what's going on with that team, man. I couldn't believe they fired their coach. It's just absolutely blown away by that.
And they hired Marco Sturm as the new coach, but you can't work miracles. They just don't have. They don't have the talent. Pasternak is obviously so sick and one of the top players in the NHL. Got to give him a lot of love and credit. He's last year. I can't remember point totals exactly, but Pasta on a bad team was still, I think he had 90 points or something. That dude is an absolute beast and just is awesome, super creative, love watching that guy, but he just doesn't have the supporting cast. But the thing that I will say about Boston that I think is optimistic for the Bees is that their top line is signed for years to come.
Oh, great. Okay.
And then Charlie McAvoy and Jeremy Swayman, who Swayman had his contract thing last training camp. They're signed for the long term as well. So you do have a certain amount of top talent security in Boston that I think you can build around.
Yeah, totally.
And I think Swayman's going to have a big year.
I would like to note that Middlestat, while he maybe had a tough time at the end of his career in Colorado, I do think he can be a good 2C. I think he needs a little bit of work, but hey, maybe he slots in there and finds his form again. I don't know. I always wish the best for him, right? Former Av. He played a lot of good minutes for us.
I wish the best for him. I don't know if that guy just needs to be in a different system than what the Avs play and have a coach ask him to do different things than what Bednar was asking him to do. But I honestly just don't see that guy as a top 6 talent. Okay. But the problem is that I don't see him as a bottom 6 guy either. He doesn't have the game to be a third line center.
Right.
And I don't think he has the skill to be a second line center. And so we'll see if Marco Sturm can develop him or put him in positions and play him in a system that is advantageous for him. But yeah, I think it's going to be tough sledding for Casey Middlestat, which is unfortunate because I think he's a nice guy. He tries hard. The effort's there, but I just don't know if he's got it. But speaking of not having it, that brings us to last place in bottom of the bummer bin, Buffalo. So Sabres,
they got a tough run, but I feel like it's pretty self-inflicted. A lot of it. Come on, guys.
Yeah, what are you doing? Yeah, I don't know. My notes on the Sabres are that they always manage to blow it. They get guys that are talented, Bowen Byram's a great example.
Oh, totally.
That dude has a ton of skill, ton of talent, but they just don't seem to be able to develop these players. And you look at the guys, you've got Jack Eichel, right? Yeah. That was there. You've got Sam Bennett, Sam Reinhart that was there, right? And so you have these total superstars. Not maybe superstars is maybe generous when it's talking about Reinhart, but that dude did have a 60-goal season,
and he has a cup,
and he's got 2 cups.
So,
but yeah, in Buffalo just can't get the best out of these guys and manages to just completely just destroy the relationship before they're able to reach.
I was going to say, I think Buffalo's issue is less of a player issue and more of a management issue. I mean, clearly.
So, but on that note, they have a new management team coming in that is preaching a culture shift in the organization. Eric Stahl and Jarmo Kekkalainen, who I'm unfamiliar with Jarmo. Eric Stahl, a really awesome former player. But they are trying to do a top-down culture shift in Buffalo that, I don't know, might work. But I think for this year, it's not going to.
Yeah, you probably won't see much come from that.
Stuff like that takes time, And
it takes a while for the players to believe in it, right? It's
yeah.
You can't just say you're going to do something and then the next season all these players are going to want to come to your organization. They have to see it. And these guys are not dummies,
Totally. And then, like, on the positive for Buffalo, though, is they've got Rasmus Dahlin, who is just, like, awesome. Man, that guy, if that guy was in a major market, he would be in the Quinn Hughes, Cale Makar category.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I think because Dahlin plays in Buffalo, he doesn't get as much credit as he deserves.
I do like that pairing, though. Byram, Dahlin, I think that's a great top pairing. Yep. Obviously, Byram has a little bit of work to do, but I still think he's a great player.
Yeah, he's on a prove-it contract, Bowen Byram, too. He signed a 2-year, like, $4.5 million deal, something like that. Don't quote me on that, but something around that. And so I think he's going to be motivated. My big question with Buffalo is what happens with Tage Thompson. He's signed long-term. There's kind of been some rumors about him getting traded, and getting a big return. I don't know. I think the guy obviously is a really awesome goal scorer. He's, defensively just a total liability. But I think he's great. They could definitely get a huge haul back for him. But the question with that, and I think the answer is no, is are they going to get an equivalent amount of talent back for him? And no. I think that they're better off trying to develop him, trying to invest in that relationship and build with him and around him and have, Thompson and Dahlin be your kind of cornerstone guys that you bring this franchise out of the depths of Buffalo ice from.
The depths of the bin.
Yeah. So Atlantic, to recap, I got Tampa, Florida, Montreal, Toronto, Ottawa, Detroit, and then Boston and Buffalo in the bummer bin, which pretty fun.
Sounds about right. Yeah.
Yeah. I am just like so hyped to see Montreal.
I'm very excited to compare these picks in, February, April.
Like mid-season.
Come back to these and just see how wrong we were about everything. Yeah, let us know what you think in the comments. What your predictions are.
Yeah, and we'll be looking forward to some adverse opinions.
Yeah.
But thanks everybody for tuning in. I'm Scramble James.
I'm Kenny S.
Yep, this has been a presentation of Sports, a Network, our 2025-26 NHL preview. Keep it real out there. Have a great time, and let's enjoy watching some puck.